have a copy, just like a wedding, to look back at and remember what happened. And that's probably the only good thing I can think of out of this pandemic, is that you'll get a copy of your retirement. A big thanks to Steve Dennis, because he did all of the Zoom sessions that you're about to look at. He put them all together. And another big thanks to Jan Lindberg, because he's managing all of the Zoom sessions, and he's going to be queuing up all the videos to show you in a little bit. And a big thanks to all the folks who actually taped Zoom video messages to you. So as you stay sequestered over the next few days or weeks or months, maybe for that matter, I figure having a video copy will give you the opportunity to go back and look at it occasionally, because I know, like most people, you won't remember much about what happens in the next hour, and you won't remember what people said. And this way you'll have the opportunity to go back and take a look at it and ponder over some of the comments, if you so desire. Now, had I known I'd been doing this on my phone instead of the computer, instead of the background being the church, I would have used the fellowship hall. But I couldn't get that to work on the computer because it requires a green screen, and I don't have one either. So imagine yourself in the fellowship hall. You know what it looks like. Tables filled with food all over the place. Lots of drinks on one table, round tables filled with people. Desserts everywhere, because I know you like desserts.
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. And sit back and just enjoy what's about to happen. So I'm going to tell you the story of my first meeting with Gary, because there's a little side to this that I don't know if it finally got attributed to me or not, but I'll fess up now. So my introduction to Gary was 3.5 years ago, when J.W. Park invited all of us to a dinner at the Steel Fire restaurant. And I thought that was a normal event. Well, I've come to find out that wasn't. It was kind of special, I guess, for Gary. And I got to the restaurant early, and I was sitting there waiting for him to show up. And I saw a man and a woman walking up the sidewalk toward the entrance, and he kind of had a look about him, you know, not the normal Steel Fire patron look, because he was all dressed up in a suit jacket and looked like he was probably going to go to church. And I said, okay, that's probably our minister. Well, he had white hair, which you can see, and he had a white, well-groomed beard. And he had this round face, and he had crinkly looking happy eyes and a jolly smile, and he had dimples, and he wore glasses. And I went, oh my goodness, our new minister's Santa Claus. So everybody who asked in the next couple of weeks, I said, well, he looks like Santa Claus. He looks like he's got white glasses, dimples, round face. And a couple of weeks later, Laurie said something like, you know, somebody's going around saying he looks like Santa Claus. I don't know if that's going to get back to Gary or not. I don't know if he's going to like that.
Jeez. I told our real Santa Claus, I said, I think I'm a subordinate to your job.
Well, I have to say now, in all honesty, I made no comment about your girth. It was just your face, and it was very pleasant, and it was all positive. So, Gary, in all honesty, was sent to Mount Zion on a mission, and even the letter that came from the bishop announced his mission to Mount Zion. It was to bring healing, to restore peace and tranquility, to help us refocus on God and our love for each other. And I don't think we could have asked for any better match than Pastor Gary at that time. So to describe him, I'm going to use a string of a lot of adjectives. So bear with me. And I'm sure that you'll hear some of these repeated in the tributes to come. But here goes my list. And it's not, it could be endless, but I did end it. He is the most even-tempered, friendly, outgoing, good-humored, pleasant, approachable, easy to talk to person that I think I've ever met.
That's nice.
I cannot remember a time when he ever lost his temper, said a cross word, looked stern, or didn't laugh or smile at some point or multiple points in a conversation. He listens, he engages, he puts you at ease, he has a calming manner, he's concerned, he's smart and well-read. He has brought harmony and peace and love to our church. And all that underlies his assurance to us of God's presence in Jesus' teaching that he has shared with us Sunday after Sunday and Thursday after Thursday in the e-pointer messages which he sent out. Now, Gary only knew part of the challenge that lay ahead. And that was, of course, to bring that healing to the congregation. But there's always more to the story. He spent most of that first year trying to get to know us and attending meeting after meeting of small groups in people's houses in the evening. Again, trying to get to everybody in the congregation. He made small incremental changes to the service. He went to the training to become a Stevens minister. He taught Bible classes and he taught book-related Bible classes. He attended tons of meetings in the evenings, tons of events, including weekends. He visited people in their homes and in the hospital, driving all over the county and the city and everywhere. He went to nursing homes, all the while driving close to an hour from his home in Perry Hall. Well, all that driving caused his car to wear out, and he ended up having to buy a new car, not too long into the time with us. Okay, so it's not surprising he bought a nice Chevy, because I think he's a Chevy man. I think his last car was a Chevy, and you sort of stick to your cars.
My dad worked for General Motors.
Oh, there you go. There's the reason. However, what surprised me no end was the color of the car. It was bright fire engine red. And I looked at that and said, isn't that the color of the other side, you know, down below? But then I thought, okay, well, actually, if you're going to do God's work, you need a spark or two here or there. And so I thought, okay, fire engine red. And oh, by the way, he's driving the Baltimore Beltway, so he probably wants to be seen all the time. So that's good. And the other thing I noticed is that everybody could tell all the time when you were at church, because your little red car stuck out visually from Route 216 anytime you drove by. Oh, Gary's there. I can see his car. Well, I also suspect Gary has never been in a church with so many challenges in such a short time. I mean, 3.5 years, and I'm just going to mention a few of the things that we've gone through. I think the SPRC is still saying what an exceptionally busy time a couple of those years were. Gary was involved in the comings and goings of 6 to 7 new staff members, and we only have 10. So that's like, you know, most of our people turned over while he was still fairly new, started kind of at the end of his first year. And that's enough just by itself to give you sleepless nights. So first our treasurer left for a new position, and we split the jobs of the financial secretary and the treasurer, and we got a volunteer for the first, and we hired Valerie Pierce for the latter. And then, of course, we had an assistant pastor position that was open. And after a while there, you said, I need some help. I'm okay with hiring an assistant. And so we advertised, and lo and behold, we got Ken Dunnington.
Mm-hmm.
And not to give it away, but Ken's going to talk to you in a little bit.
Okay.
But Ken stayed a year, and now Ken was retired. Ken stayed a year, and daggone if he didn't quit us to go back full time.
Yes, he did.
For a year at another church. And So I don't know. I don't think you'll do that, but there's always that possibility, I guess. And then our youth minister left to take another position. And while we were working hard to try and figure out what to do there, our children's minister decided that it was time to sort of retire. And we ended up combining those two into one position. And with your help, we found and hired Carol Wunderlich, who came in and took both positions in a combination. Well, then our office manager quit. And so we advertised and we hired Diane Santa. And then, oh, geez, sadly enough, our organist of, I don't even remember how many years, probably 20 some years, Deb Papavisis, decided to retire. And we interviewed and we hired Larissa Sanders. So through all of this, Gary worked on advertising, interview questions, helped us interview candidates on the weekend, discussed candidates, and helped us all hone in on who to bring on board. Well, what else did we do? Gosh, we did a lot. We started direct deposit, and I think he was very happy for that, because I've come to find out that he misplaces checks. So this way he didn't have to lose any of his paychecks. We started paying pension to some of the staff. We rewrote the Safe Sanctuary. That was a big deal, and he was certainly part of that, working with the SPRC. We started staff and pastor appreciation days, and we had ways of saying thank you to him each year that he was there. We had staff evaluations, and of course, unfortunately, he had to be part of all of those, and that was hours worth of meetings and work. The food pantry grew and grew, and he attended that multiple times, handing out food and talking to the people. The church began working on the way forward. And unfortunately, that's still going and will for some time to come. And then we were hit with a pandemic, and the church closed, and we transitioned to our Zoom-driven technology worship stay-at-home services. So I would say your 3.5 years have been exceedingly memorable for many reasons, and a lot of them unusual reasons, to say the least. Not exactly the retirement that you had in mind when you said you were going to retire last year when you told the SPRC. I'm sure you had no idea you'd be sitting at your computer at home with all of us talking to you then. But through all of this, you haven't skipped a beat. You've weathered everything well. You've always had a good perspective. You've provided great advice, great recommendations. You've consistently showed a sense of humor. And through all that, you've maintained your deep-seated love for God and for all of us, day after day, week after week. I think you're probably ready for a rest. As much as you feel sad about leaving after 37 years, I think it's time for you to move to the next part of your life. And I think you're looking forward to that deep down inside, as sad as you may be to be leaving. And we will certainly miss your sharing that love of God through all of your messages and through your music too, which was also unique that you were able to share with us. Now, I had already in my talk Ecclesiastes, I noticed Thursday you put it in the e-pointer, so you're going to hear it again. There's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Retirement is one of those that all of us face who ever work, and your time is now. Even though retiring is a daunting prospect and challenging, remember what God said in Jeremiah, and I'll see if I can get through it this time without tearing up. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in a future. So you'll have to at least keep in touch occasionally and let us know what your future holds. Now, at this point, we have, as I said, 10 Zoom sessions where people have have delivered messages to you because they couldn't be here. And the first one of those that is being queued up is J.W. Park.
Nice.
And J.W. is an interesting guy. He's been with us now. He will have been with us as our district superintendent for 4 different pastors in 6 years. I'm not quite sure what that says. It's not his longevity. It's certainly a lot of movement at our church, but 3.5 of those years has been with you. And I think you guys have a good relationship. And he wanted to be sure that since you're not just changing churches, you're really retiring and leaving, that he wanted to deliver a message to you.
Hello everyone, my name is J.W. Park. I'm your district superintendent, and it is my honor to say a few words on retirement celebration for Reverend Gary Sheffield-James. First of all, Gary, congratulations on your retirement, and I hope and pray you enjoy your new stage of life and your ministry after the retirement. And I hope you enjoy something different from what you've been doing for the last 37 years, like fishing, golfing. If you play golf, give me a call. We can enjoy the round together. And I understand that even though you retire from the ministry, your ministry of Christ will continue on. So I pray that you continue doing the ministry and enjoy your life, less busy, right? And I'm sure that folks at Mount Zion will miss you a lot, because I know that you put your heart and soul in the ministry for people of Mount Zion. And I'm very grateful for that. And I always appreciate your faithfulness in Christ. So I'm going to miss you, and I will grieve not having you around. But I'm happy for you. So enjoy your life and new stage of ministry. And blessings on you and your family, and have more time with your family, and then I will see you around. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the next person, and I hope this one will come as a bit of a surprise to you, turns out to be somebody you've known for probably about 25 years.
Cool.
And he's a friend, he's a colleague, he's a mentor. He shared some very interesting things about you. And I have no doubt that you will be contacting him shortly after you see this. Conrad Link.
Oh, no. It's Conrad.
Isn't that nice?
Yes, it is nice.
Hi, my name is Conrad Link, and I'm a friend of Gary's. I got a message that your church was going to do an appreciation for his retirement, so I thought I would prepare a few remarks right here. I've got 10 things that I wanted to tell you about Gary that you should all know by now, but since they told me I only have a couple of minutes, basically I'm going to throw away most of this stuff and just tell you probably the top 4 things. I mean, 5 through 10 were really great things. I probably should have told you those before he got to the church, before he became your pastor, and I would have warned you about some of his stuff. Like, Gary rightly gave up golf. He was a terrible golfer. Well, he wasn't that bad, but he didn't really cheat. But just when I would be in my backswing, ready to go forward and hit my 250-foot drive, he would say some esoteric remark that would throw the whole thing off, and I'd lose the ball. And he would go, what? Like he didn't know what he was doing. So he has a dark side to his character, but again, He's retiring, so you don't need to know that now, and no point in warning about that. I could have told you all these things. Half of them probably were true. Half of them probably weren't true, but they would sound so true because that's who Gary is, and he probably did them, we just didn't know. So I threw all that stuff away, and let me just say, here are the top 4 things, finally, that you should know. Gary has done well in ministry when he's listened to me. That's right. You heard me say it. When he listened to me, he did well. When he didn't listen to me, disaster. I just hope that he listened to me well when he served you folks at Mount Zion. I'm not there. We're moving on. Number 3. The smartest thing he ever did in ministry was to hire Carol Wunderlich for the staff there at Mount Zion. How do I know this? Because the smartest thing I ever did was hire Carol Wunderlich on my staff in 2001. How do I know it was the smartest thing Gary did, and how do I know it was the smartest thing I did? Is because Carol Wunderlich told me it was the smartest thing I ever did. Number 2, Gary is a preacher's preacher. Gary is the kind of man who will listen, and then in conversation will move you deeper and deeper if you're willing to go with him. You know, if you're in a study with him, he'll listen to what you have to say, he'll remark about where you are, and he might then pose a question that moves you deeper and deeper into understanding of yourself and understanding of your faith experience, and thereby understanding who God is. He's the kind of pastor that I would like to have. He's the kind of preacher that would stimulate me. He might make me angry, but it will be a good anger because it'll force me to deal with my own thoughts and reflection. Gary, I am convinced, is the kind of person that most pastors should be. The kind of person who will offer the word of compassion, to offer the word of justice, to offer the word of grace. I have great admiration for him, and I'm glad that he's able to retire at this time. And the final thing I want to say, but the smartest thing, the greatest thing that Gary ever did was to marry Laurie. And for that, we all give thanks. Gary, sorry I couldn't be with you this morning, but have a great retirement, have a great future life, and who knows, maybe when I get around to retiring, we will rediscover how to play golf. I'll keep my eye on you, but maybe we'll discover those time together. Blessings to you and blessing to Mount Zion Church, and have a great day. Thanks.
That's nice. Yeah. He's funny. You did a great job.
Steve and I both watched that video and then talked to each other and said, oh, wow.
Hey, listen, I got some stories to tell about Conrad, so
I bet you do.
I will call him.
So now that I know that you used to play golf, it is an option to pick it back up again.
Well, you know, he said that I was not a good golfer, but I spoke at his 25th years in ministry at his church, and I told the church there that if his score was an IQ score, he would be the smartest person in the world.
Okay, well over 100. That's okay for a novice. You can do that. All right. Well, the last person who's not actually part of Mount Zion currently, I think many of us thought of him as kind of your adopted brother. You looked a little bit alike. You loved each other. You enjoyed talking to each other. You enjoyed spending time together. And for us, we were sorry that it was so limited to only a year, and you probably were too. Ken Dunnington is finishing his full-time, non-retired position today. This is his last Sunday as well, and he knew he wouldn't be able to be with you in person live, so he taped a message for you.
Hey, Gary, this is your new old friend, Ken Dunnington. And I just wanted to say congratulations, pal, on your retirement. After so many years, I think you've deserved it, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful time in this new venture of life. You know what they say about retirement, though, that for Laurie it means 50% less salary and 150% more husband. So just plan your time accordingly. I just want to say I had a wonderful year working with you at Mount Zion with the wonderful people there, and just so appreciative of the friendship that you and I got to establish, and the times where we spent just chatting, just talking with each other, and sharing a lot of funny stories. So I hope the time will come when we can get back together and share some good times and some funny stories together. But God bless and enjoy your time and your well-deserved time of retirement. I wish I could be with you. This is my last Sunday at Middletown, and we're doing a live parking lot service, and so I can't be with you, but I am with you in spirit and in video. So, hey, pal, take care. I hope to see you soon when all this virus thing ends, and we can have some good times together. Take care, pal. God bless, and God bless everybody at Mount Zion Church.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you.
So the next video starts the sort of the run through the Mount Zion group with folks who wanted to say goodbye to you. And the first one is Mike Jacobson, who's not only in charge of the Pioneers, but the council chair this year.
Gary, this is not how we hoped it would go when we had the opportunity to say thank you. Please know that we would have loved to do more. We would have loved to shake your hand. We would have loved to give you a hug, or at least stand closer to you than 30 miles away, or however far it is we are from you now. But this is how it is, so I'll just say thank you. Thank you for coming to Mount Zion at a time when quiet calm was what we needed. Thank you for staying with us for the years that you did. And thank you for answering God's call to service. May you be eternally blessed by it. And in the meantime, may God bless you with a long, healthy, and happy retirement.
Thank you.
You've spent 3.5 years and working with the SPRC, and you know how encompassing that can be on many fronts. And so Susan Lau and some of the members of the SPRC wanted to send their best wishes to you in a video.
That's nice.
As one of Mount Zion's lay delegates to the annual conference, I was blessed to be among the first to meet Pastor Gary Sheffield-James. I understood that Bishop Easterling was sending a theologian because Gary had previously served on the board of ordained ministry, testing candidates for ministry as elders and deacons. Consequently, I expected a learned man, and knowing Mount Zion to be a highly educated congregation, I hoped for a good match. My hopes were reassured when Gary proved to be very down to earth. He was easy to talk to and often very loquacious. I was especially gladdened when he decided he wanted to meet the congregation in small groups in members' homes. Hallelujah. Pastor Gary had a heart for the people of Mount Zion. As chair of church council, I met with Gary every month to discuss planning issues. Often during these conversations, I got a full view of the depth of his thoughtfulness and faith. Gary traveled and he brought his informations back and shared them with us. In troubled times, we have had several since Gary has been with us. Gary was known for his dislike of gossip and his insistence that all parties should get together and to talk to each other. And that, to me, shows faith in the innate ability of like-minded people to find common ground when talking one-to-one. On one of these conversations, I forget the issue or the conflict, I clearly sensed words coming into my mind to encourage him. And I told him, Gary, you know, you are a man of peace. And he stopped and he smiled. I believe that this is part of the legacy that Gary Sheffield-James leaves Mount Zion. I'm very glad that we have had an opportunity to be nurtured by him.
Pastor Gary, the qualities for which I will remember you are your humility and your humor. I think you, Pastor Gary, have been one of the most humble pastors we've had at Mount Zion. Excuse me. Perhaps that's because you're older and you're wiser than most other pastors that we've had. When you arrived, you did not try to change the missions of Mount Zion, but you chose to learn about them and to support them. In this way, you led by example. You show a lot of empathy in your personal relationships with our congregation. That comes from your willingness to be humble. You're a very approachable pastor, and you don't take yourself too seriously. So your humor serves you well there. In fact, the way you inject humor into your sermons is very effective, and it's done, I think that it really helps to make your sermons more interesting and enjoyable, and it makes you a lot more approachable. So, Pastor Gary, that's the way I'll remember you, primarily for your humility and your humor, which go hand in hand. So, again, we thank you for your service. I thank you for your service at Mount Zion.
But I will remember the humility, the approachability, man of peace, and interesting, which don't always go together. But I will remember and treasure working with you and Rachel Kelly a couple of years ago on VBS. In a small, hot room, you were always very gentle and kind, working really hard. You taught the children with such humility and respect and tenderness, and it just seemed to exemplify Jesus. And so I will remember that forever, and really miss your musical ability, your singing, and your humor. So thank you.
Pastor Gary, from the day you arrived at Mount Zion, you've been a warm and welcoming presence. You've been an empathetic listener who has focused on bringing people together through open and honest communication. Your willingness to share your personal faith journey and some of the challenges you have faced in your life has brought you closer to all of us. You've also made yourself extraordinarily accessible in meeting the pastoral needs of the congregation, whether through hospital and home visits, weddings and funerals, or your involvement as a Stephen ministry leader. Not to mention all the Bible studies, committee meetings, and mission activities you've participated in. So much so that the SPRC has had to remind you to take your Sabbath days and your vacation days. So much so that you put a sleep sofa in your office and often spent the night, even one time, I believe, scaring the cleaning person who also scared you. And as has been noted, you are noted for your humor. So I've been asked to share a joke from one of your own sermons, and I will try not to botch it too badly. This one is from last September. A man goes hunting on a Sunday and encounters a bear. It startles him and he falls backwards down a hill, losing his weapon and breaking his leg. He looks up and sees the bear charging at him, and he says, "Dear God, I'm sorry I didn't go to church today. Please forgive me and change this bear into a Christian." All of a sudden, the bear comes to a stop, goes down on his knees, puts his paws together, and says, "God bless this food I'm about to eat." But seriously, Pastor Gary, you have been a blessing to Mount Zion. We thank you for your dedication and commitment, and we wish you peace, joy, and happiness in your retirement.
As a former history teacher and someone who enjoys learning about historical figures and different leadership styles, I think of you, Pastor Gary, when I think of the term servant leader. I've seen in many instances, and I think will Betty, Deborah, and Susan have said this also, but I've seen where you lead from behind, you get into the trenches, do whatever you need to do to help out. One perfect example is our work with the food pantry in our sister church, Ames, down in Baltimore City. One Saturday we were there making food, and everyone was outside talking and chatting, and I said, "Where's Pastor Gary?" Pastor Gary was in the basement actually doing the cooking, while the rest of us were standing around talking, chatting, getting to meet people. He was down in the basement doing the actual work. I've also seen in occasions where he's reached out to people who are in hospital, hospice, at home, and need someone to reach out to them. And Gary does it without fanfare, just with love, peace, and kindness. I wish you the best in your next phase. I'm excited for you and your family as you enter a well-deserved retirement. Best wishes, and thank you for everything you've done.
Steve.
Yes, Pastor Gary, thank you so much for all the conversations that we had about different aspects of science, and I really enjoyed those conversations. And thank you for tamping down all of the different degrees of freedom and helping to bring Mount Zion to a place of peace as you entered our church. And as you leave it in a much better place than we welcomed you with. And I really appreciate, as Betty said earlier, the no triangles rule. So making sure that folks are in conversation with one another so that the true issues are addressed once and not propagated many times through gossip. Thank you for your steady hand in bringing the staff and the congregation to a place where we can really worship in peace. And may God speed the next chapter of your life.
Thank you, Pastor Gary, for all your support throughout the past several years. You always knew where people's heart was, and mine is with Camp Hope. So I thank you for all the support with Camp Hope and other mission trips we've gone on. My one memory that I really had a good time with you was working at the food pantry. We were passing out squash and laughing and talking with the clients and learning all the different ways and things that you could do with squash. So hopefully you'll remember that so that you can make all kinds of squash in your retirement years, and watch out for those bears. Best of luck, and thank you for everything.
Hi, Pastor Gary. This is Patty. I just want to thank you for everything. I think about the jokes that we made about the Eagles. I think about just being as warm and open as you are, as has been mentioned, that very open with your own lives and sharing that. So I just want to thank you so much, and enjoy your retirement, and may the force be with you.
On behalf of the SPRC and the other members who aren't able to join us today, we wish you well, and peace be with you.
Peace be with you. That's nice.
So I think it's a testament to you, Gary, that 9 members of the SPRC sent messages to you.
That's nice.
That just shows you how much work we all did together over the last 3.5 years. And remember, I said you'd need to go back and look at these again, because there was a lot that was said amongst those 8 videos about you. And I'm sure you want to listen to it again. So the next person who's going to be talking is Carol Wunderlich, representing the youth group. And you two have been doing a lot of work with the confirmation class. And she has a message for you on your retirement.
Hi, Gary. We're here representing the youth of Mount Zion United Methodist Church, and we wanted to wish you well on your retirement. Caroline, you're ready.
Hi, Pastor Gary. I'm going to miss you so much. You're personally one of my favorite pastors, and you've brought me through this journey of confirmation very well. And I loved your sermons every time I got to hear one of them. And they were short, but so meaningful. And I wish you well. Bye.
Hey, Pastor Gary. We all know that you were here during a very hard time during this pandemic, and we wish we could give you a proper farewell, but hopefully this video will give you a good last goodbye.
Okay, Gary, we want to leave you with the words that we always say at the end of youth group. It's the benediction from Numbers chapter 6. And so here it is.
May the Lord bless you and keep you.
May the Lord make his face to shine upon you
and be gracious unto you.
May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you
and give you peace.
Bye. We'll miss you. Bye, Pastor Gary.
Bye.
Bye.
We have had a couple of young adults who are now married, Liz and Shugo Tanaka, and their wedding, I'm sure all of the planning, oh my goodness, all of the planning that went into their wedding, and to have the pandemic strike. And rather than put it off, they went ahead and had a Zoom wedding that you were part of. Both of them have a message for you in the following video.
Pastor Gary, congratulations on your retirement. When you first arrived, you had several small gatherings to get to know the congregation. I recall you saying one of the most important things you practice as a pastor is meeting people where they are. That stuck with me, and I believe that is acting out the teachings of Jesus Christ. You have a very calming and uplifting presence. You are exactly what Mount Zion needed. Thank you for incessantly inspiring us to go forth in the world and spread God's love.
In leading worship, I have admired your graceful ability to adapt. I've learned you can have some of the best messages shine through in unexpected ways. You have demonstrated how to listen for the Holy Spirit. I have appreciated your confidence while leaving room to grow and learn. Thank you for showing us how to be patient and open, to stay thirsty for knowledge, and how to humbly lead. You have been such a great example to our congregation. Also,
thank you so much for all of your time and efforts in helping us prepare for our wedding and our marriage.
We thought the premarital counseling was helpful in understanding our upbringings and each other. Thank you for starting our marriage off on the right foot.
Thank you also for your beautiful homily. It was absolutely perfect.
We will keep you updated in our future plans for a vow renewal ceremony. Once again, thank you, Pastor Gary, and we love you.
That's nice. That's nice.
Happy retirement!
That was supposed to drive a car in them.
Oh, okay. One of our missions that is has grown and grown and grown is the Open Doors Food Pantry, and I know that you've gone multiple times to work there. So Carol Hill has a message for you as well.
Pastor Gary, we wanted to thank you for all you've done to promote the Open Doors Food Pantry. You've been our biggest fan, and without your support, we wouldn't be able to feed over 1,000 people each and every month. We pray you have a long, relaxing retirement with lots of laughs, good times, and great health. Next.
Okay. So Gary, thank you so much for your support. I think I have just two quick memories that I remember of you. One was at a Thanksgiving distribution day. I just remember you carrying around this little girl on your shoulder the whole time while her mother shopped. And I'll never forget that. That kind of image is imprinted in my mind. But then also just thank you for your help the first time you came out at the Pack to Give Back event. That we did it for the first Thanksgiving after you came to Mount Zion. So again, thanks for your support. Wish you a wonderful and peaceful and restful retirement.
Okay.
Karen.
Oh, right. Gary, thank you for all of the support that you've given the food pantry during the time that you've been here.
and I hope that you have a relaxing and restful retirement.
Thank you.
Pastor Gary, I'd like to thank you for your support also, but also that many days you've come downstairs when I've been in by myself, setting up stuff and coming down to offer to help me to set up. So I do appreciate all that you've done for me and the group. And I hope you enjoy your retirement. And it's a sweet thing to have.
Amen to that. Pastor Gary, this is Laurie. I know it's a face from the past, but I've never forgotten all the wonderful times that I've been with you at the food pantry. The first time you came, just the smile you had on your face and the amazement and the awe that you had and how you just couldn't stop talking about what the food pantry does. And then for me, the other experience was on Sundays when Carol was so wiped out and couldn't get there. You were coming up to me, what's the date? I got to get to the church for the food pantry. You never forgot us the Sunday following to be able to announce to the church. And it was such a great joy to hear you spread that wonderful news. And as Ken says, retirement's sweet, and I just bless you and just hope that you have the best road into retirement. And I know that you and Lori will have a wonderful time. God bless you.
Thank you.
Hi, Gary. This is Rick. I just want to thank you for all your support that you've done with the food pantry, and wishing you a good, happy retirement.
Thank you.
Hi, Pastor Gary. This is Sharon. Hey, I'd like to thank you for all the support, and not only just promoting us on Sunday mornings. You don't just walk or talk the talk, you walk the talk, and you show up and you actually help, and we really appreciate it. It was very inspiring. So I agree with the others who are retired. Retirement is wonderful, and I wish you a very long and happy retirement, and enjoy your slow mornings. There's nothing better. Trina?
Pastor Gary, thank you for all that you've done for the food pantry. As everybody has said before, we appreciate your support, your help, and it was so enjoying to see you come there on a Saturday morning to help hand out whatever's needed or whatever spot that we needed you in. That was very appreciative, and we hope that you enjoy your retirement. Enjoy.
So, Pastor Gary, it looks like everybody is very appreciative of everything that you have done for the food pantry. You will be very much missed, and if you ever get time to come back and visit the food pantry, what is it, in a year? You have to be away, but we invite you to come back and see how we're doing, and please keep in touch with us.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And as one final word or words,
Okay, for me, what she said.
Minnesota.
Okay, the next video message is from Katie Davis and the parenting class.
Hi, Pastor Gary. It's the parenting class, and we are just so thankful that you've been our pastor, and we have a few words to say.
Hi, Pastor Gary. This is Carolyn in Lamont Basket, and we just want to thank you so much for your leadership. And I will always remember when you would come down and pray with the choir in the mornings before service began. It was such a beautiful time. Thank you.
Hey, Pastor Gary, it's Lamont. I just want to say thanks for your essence and your spirit, sharing it with us at Mount Zion. And I'll never forget our playful banter during worship as to who had less hair.
Thank you, Pastor Gary. This is Chris and Katie. We just want to thank you for your leadership during this crazy time here. We wish you all the best as you head into the next chapter of your life. And like your father-in-law, no reason for you not to continue in some sort of ministry for at least the next 10 years.
Hey, Pastor Gary, this is Lynn and Bill McQuithy. We want to thank you so much for your service with us these past few years and wish you the best for your retirement. And we really appreciate how you've shared your faith with us through these times. Best of luck.
Hi, Pastor Gary. This is Debbie Klopp. We want to thank you for your time at Mount Zion and for being truly a genuine person. It's very much appreciated, and I appreciate the time that you spent with me and joining the retirement ranks. So congratulations.
Hi, Pastor Gary. This is Christy and Russ Winnock Fink. I just want to say thank you for all the kindness and support you've shown us, both in church and in a personal level.
Thank you also for guiding our faith journey these past couple of years. And go Redskins!
Thank you, Gary, from Lisa and Rob Idson. We especially thank you for your warmth, your humor, and your down-to-earth nature. We really appreciated your personal sharing and your anecdotes. And the one I'll always remember is how you said you went to VBS because they had snacks and Kool-Aid.
It's been great, Gary.
Hi, Pastor Gary. This is Sarah Gettier. I just really want to thank you for your leadership with all of us, but especially this youth through confirmation. Thank you for everything you've done for them.
Hi, Pastor Gary. It's Jamie and Jim Humphreys. We just want to say thank you for your wisdom and just all the biblical insight you've given us over the last few years. We wish you the best and many of God's blessings in the years to come.
That's nice.
Hi, Pastor Gary. This is Ann Thompson. I wish Eliza could be here because I know you mean a lot to her and to me. And we want to thank you for the faith, your guidance, and just the hope you give us. And also the preschool. You were fabulous. You playing the guitar and touching the lives of the young children, preschool and our youth and everyone at church. So God bless.
Nice.
Hey, Pastor Gary, this is Stephanie Pelham. Just thank you for your time at Mount Zion and good luck in retirement.
Pastor Gary, we love you. Thank you so much for everything. And here's to a wonderful retirement.
Thank you.
We'll miss you.
Miss you.
Miss you.
That's nice.
Bless.
That's nice. Yeah.
Well, anyone who knows you, Gary, knows you love music. Anyone who's met you probably knows that you've taught yourself how to play guitar. Anybody who's been to church with you knows that you play your guitar in church and you sing. And anybody who knows you know how important music is in a service, because you've said it again and again and again, how important music is.
Mm-hmm.
So Lynn McQuithy of the Trinity Choir has a message for you at this point.
Hi, Pastor Gary. I'm Lynn McQuithy, and I've been working with Trinity Choir, and we're making a message for you. First, we'll introduce ourselves.
Hi, my name is Kaylin O'Keefe, and I am in 8th grade.
Hi, my name is Brooke Gettier, and I'm in 11th grade.
I'm Ben Davis. I'm in 10th grade.
Hi, I'm Eliza Thompson, and I'm in 11th grade.
Hi, my name is Phoebe Island, and I'm in 10th grade.
Hi, my name is Victoria Solomons. I'm in 7th grade.
Hi, I'm Nellie Scrock, and I'm in 8th grade.
Hi, I'm Julia Baskett, and I'm in 11th grade.
I'm Josh Davis, and I'm in 8th grade.
Hi, I'm Liz Mullen, and I'm in 11th grade.
Hi, I'm Caroline Mullen, and I'm in 8th grade.
Hi, I'm Kyle Gettier, and I'm in 7th grade.
Very good. So, Pastor Gary, thank you so much for blessing Mount Zion with your humble leadership, your loving ministry, and your deep love of Christ. You have blessed us in so many ways. Here is a farewell message from Trinity Choir. For he's a
jolly good fellow.
Congratulations
on your retirement.
Blessings, Pastor Gary.
We wish
you all
the best.
That's nice.
Thanks, Pastor Gary.
Thank you. It's nice.
Okay.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Well, what a cool way to to end the videos. Wow, wow, wow. You can see why I said you'll want to go back and probably look at this thing at some point, because there was an awful lot said in the last 50 minutes or so. Well, that concludes actually our videos. At this point, we would like to present you with a couple of gifts, or going away gifts. The first one is actually an envelope that I'm giving to Laurie, for Laurie to give to you. It's from the SPRC because you spent so much time working with the SPRC in the last 3.5 years. I mean, an incredible amount of time. So thank you from all of us to you, and enjoy any way that you see fit.
I shall open it up.
Sure, go ahead.
Oh. Laurie and I are going on a trip with this.
What is it?
It's a $500 card, a debit card.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This virus is only going to last so long. You know that.
That's what we figured, that you
Thank
would
you
have an
so much.
opportunity eventually.
Thank you so much.
Now, the other gift is actually the summation of the love offering that folks gave. And I called, so this is a little story on you, Gary. I called Valerie and I said, okay, we have to figure out how to get the love offering to Gary. And I was thinking, we'd send it registered letter, or we'd have Frank and Diana drive it up and drop it off at the house, or, you know, I didn't want it to go through the mail. And Valerie says, well, you know, Gary's lost checks before. And so we probably don't want to give him a check. She said, how about direct deposit? And I said, great idea. So tomorrow, what you are about to open will be directly deposited into your account, safe, and you don't have to worry about losing it. But thank you from all of our hearts, of the folks in Mount Zion, from us to you.
There it is. So nice. And read it.
It says here, attached is the love offering certificate we prepared for you to present to Gary. That's me. During the farewell fellowship time, I think Karen told you that the money will be direct deposited on Monday. Please let me know if you need anything further from me. And please accept my best wishes for both of you and as you enter this new phase of your life together. Peace, Susan Lau. And thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Where is the amount? Was there another piece of paper there? No. Okay.
Well, thank you.
Well, the amount, as I recall, was $4,295.
You're so kind. Thank you so much. We're going on a really big trip. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Gary, this is Susan. There was an attachment to to my email that had a little certificate, which was presenting the love offering to you on behalf of the whole congregation of Mount Zion with our appreciation. So I can resend that to you if it somehow got lost in translation, but just wanted you to know that there is a certificate to have as a memento while you're waiting for the direct deposit.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I apologize. I guess I didn't print that out. So
Well, that's okay.
I'm sorry.
That's why it's being direct deposited, so you all don't have any problem with where it is or what's happening to it. Okay, at this point, and our sincere love and thanks go to you both for your time with us at Mount Zion. Steve is going to give the blessing or a prayer at this point.
Yeah, hi, Gary. I think it's going to be in a few days when this surreal experience of retirement settling in, and maybe Sharon's idea of a slow morning occurs, and maybe you and Lori will be deciding who's going to get out of that comfortable bed and go make the coffee, right? And it won't be too long before Lori tells you that it's your job, and you're going to be incredulous, and you're going to say, what do you mean? What do you mean it's my job? It's not my job. And she says, well, it tells you in the Bible that it is your job. And you're going to say, no way. Show me. Show me where. And it says in the Bible, Hebrews. Hebrews. That's going to be your job. You won't be able to get out of it. So in the spirit
justification there.
Yeah,
you know,
I like that. Thank you.
That's right. Sorry for the setup there.
I'm loving it.
But I had to throw in one last joke. So I think it's only appropriate that we use the form of goodbye that is hello. And in the spirit of that, I think Hebrews 13 has a wonderful, wonderful benediction for us. And it says, now may the God of peace, who through the blood of the eternal covenant brought back from the dead our Lord Jesus, that great shepherd of the sheep, equip you with everything that is good for doing his will. And may he work in us what is pleasing to him, through Jesus Christ, to whom be the glory forever and ever. Gary, I am sure that we're going to meet again, but until we do, may the peace of Christ be with you, Lori, and your families throughout all of your years of retirement. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we want to give Laurie an opportunity to say a few words first, and then Gary will turn it over to you. And then we have the congregation, and I think Jan will try and manhandle that into some format that's good. Laurie?
Yes, I'm going to move the computer just for a second because I wrote a few things. I want to thank you for your support of Gary and me these last 3 years. Your welcoming spirit was apparent right from the beginning, right from when we walked into the doors of the church, and it's remained constant throughout our time at Mount Zion. One of my favorite scriptures is from Micah, chapter 6, verse 8. And it says, what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Thank you for your generous spirit. Through the Open Doors Food Pantry, to Camp Hope, to preparing sandwiches for those that are hungry, to housing those who are homeless during the winter, and through so many other mission activities, you exemplify generosity. I want to thank you for your music that has continuously ministered to me. And I want to thank you for your caring, your prayers and thoughts when I was ill meant a great deal. And thank you for your fellowship. I've enjoyed getting to know you. I believe I've been made richer because of you, and I know that I will miss you. You'll be missed. Mount Zion is a strong, faith-filled church. And I know that you'll get through these hard, difficult, unusual times.
and that you will flourish as you serve your neighbors, your church family, your community, and your world. So may God continue to bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Get out of your way.
Thank you very much. Let's bring it over here.
Yep.
Well, it's your turn, Gary.
My turn?
Your turn.
You know, I just want you to know that the office is clean and really prepared for the new pastor coming in. When Laurie looked in and saw how clean my office was, she says people are going to walk by there and look into the door and say, "Oh, I didn't know there was a desk in there." And so I have on occasion, and when I cleaned up my office, I just wanted to let you know I did find a check. A check that was given to me in 2019. It was reissued because I lost it in 2018. And thank you, Karen, for your moderating. Over and over again, you were saying 3.5 years. I've only been here for 3 years. Has it been that long to you?
It has to me.
So I wanted to thank you for the gift, first of all. And Laurie and I will use this to do some fun thing in the future. And when we do something fun, we are going to remember your generosity. So thank you very much. You know, I remember my first Sunday at Mount Zion. I really do. And that first Sunday in July, the Camp Hope team was coming back and they were doing their presentation. And also on that first Sunday, there was communion. And it was my first Sunday. It was my first sermon. And I knew then that this was a busy church, a very busy church and doing mission and doing a lot of things. But you probably don't remember my first sermon and its title. Does anybody remember? Well, it's nice to have a lasting impact on others. The title of the sermon was Hello, Human Being. And it was just a sermon that reminded us that we are all human beings, that we are connected to one another, and that God has created each and every one of us as unique. And I just have to tell you that this is a unique church. Mount Zion is a unique church with unique people, with many, many gifts and talents. And so I will leave with this affirmation that you are a church that's strong, and you're going to do great things in the future. One of the things that Laurie has said in her remarks that you're very mission-minded, and that is true. And I thank you for all the things that you do for missions. There's the volunteers and mission trips that you've had in the past. I'm sure you'll take trips in the future. There's the connection to Ames United Methodist Church in Baltimore City. There's the Rebuilding Together, which is churches all over in Howard County that come together to help refurbish houses. And so that's an ongoing ministry that you are involved in. And also that first week I was here, I participated in as an observer in the Vacation Bible School. And I think I was in your class, Betty. It was the audio-visual class. And of course, through that week, I went to other places as well. But what I learned, that this is a tradition at Mount Zion. And I know that this is postponed to next year because of the pandemic, but there are over 100, I think there might have been 150 children there. And that's not counting the leaders, the crew leaders, and also those that volunteered in many other ways through that week. That's a big enterprise and a big thing that Mount Zion does. The other is Stephen Ministry. Stephen Ministry is very important at Mount Zion. And we have all close to, I think, 20 caregivers who have care receivers. And through your generosity, you sent me to Pittsburgh, where I was trained to be a Stephen minister, a Stephen leader. And there is the vision for Stephen Ministries. It says this: Christ caring for people through people. Isn't that a wonderful mission statement? Christ caring for people through people. It gets back to that hello human being again, doesn't it? That God works us through us as human beings. And the other thing I wanted you to know, the last 3 months have been unusual for us and for many churches all over the place. And you and the church have found ways to continue your worship, education through Zoom. I wanted to thank Jan Lindberg for his abilities to really kind of come forward and keep us together as in a virtual sanctuary, and also to keep us intact with the understanding that we're still community, that we're still connected with one another. We have Zoom meetings, we have Zoom administrative meetings, Zoom worship, we've had Zoom confirmation, Zoom Sunday school, Zoom youth meetings. All that's taking place, and it's different, it's unusual, but we are doing it. And I'd like to thank our music leaders, because I tell you right now, the music just gets better and better through this venue. And so I wanted to thank all the people that are involved with our music, Larissa Sanders, who is our organist, Chris Fox, who is the keyboard and music leader, Bob Greiner, who is the bell choir leader, Lynn McWithy, who is the Trinity choir leader, of course, the music director, Mark Dubbs. And I thank all the choirs, the chancel choir, the bell choir, the Trinity choir, the praise team, for all of their contribution. Now, there's a lot of administration goes on in a big church, that I do know. And as one said, I attended a lot of meetings, and the meetings still go on in Zoom. And these are important meetings. And trustees, since I've been here, there have been 3 chairs on that meeting, Rob Bergio and Bill Powers, and now our current chair is Roger Colvin. And they do great work, and they check our facilities and make sure that they are clean and welcoming. And so we need to give them all the credit. I thank Steve Dennis, who is on Worship and Arts. He has been a very good chair, and the people that serve on that committee do wonderful things to make sure that the worship is very visual. And now they are working in a new venue and a new way, a medium of sharing our church. The Finance Committee has been very busy. When I first came, Kurt Island was the chair of this committee, and now Rob Etzen is our new chair. Missions, as you said, and Laurie has said that it's a mission-minded church. So I thank Allison Dunn, who was chair when I came, and Belinda Norton became kind of an interim chair until Ken McLaughlin took the chairship of that committee. Thank lay leadership, stewardship, and then there's church council. Betty Ames was the chair of church council when I first came, and now it's Mike Jacobson. So those meetings are very important, very important. And then there's the SPRC. I like to thank, I've never had a goodbye from a church where all the SPRC representatives said something. And so that's been different and very kind words, but you do great work. I remember when I first came here, I asked people in my groups together, they said, I served on the SPRC and I don't want to do it again. Well, you know something, I can tell you something about this. The SPRC is a hard job, but when it's done effectively, it's one of the most important jobs in the church. And so I'd like to thank Karen Weiss for her leadership. And I'd like to thank Susan Lau, who is coming on board as the new chair of the SPRC, because that's a big job and a very important job. And I'd like to thank Karen because I like you were very supportive in beginning my process here and all throughout my tenure. And I want to thank you for your hugs, because my whole bone structure has been realigned. I just want to thank you very much. And of course, we have a wonderful staff, Diane Santa, who is our administrative assistant, Mark Blau, who's our facilities manager, and also Valerie Pierce, our treasurer, Mark Dubbs, Chris Fox, and Larissa Sanders, our music team, Jen Fieni, and she's the preschool director, and Carol Wunderlich, who is Minister of Youth and Children. And also I wanted to thank Reverend Debbie Bergio. She has a site that she is here at the church, and that's called Winter Grace. But she also has been very involved in the church, and she will be covering for me in the next couple of Sundays, but she's also been helpful in many ways throughout my ministry here. And so most of all, I really wanted to thank my wife, Laurie, for 37 years. Now, I know I was ordained as in 1983. Bishops laid hands on me and took all my hair away. And said, take thou authority. But it's been my wife who's been the great support, who's been there when I needed her, and through the good times and through the difficult times, as well as the rich times and important times. Now, I was ordained in 1983. But in May of that year, May the 28th, 1983, Laurie and I were married at Georgetown Presbyterian Church. And I tell you right now, I am blessed that she has been with me, cared for me, and supported me. And so I wanted to thank her. She didn't know, I read my report to her, but I didn't share this with her. So this is a surprise. Yeah, and so I thank her for all that she's done. And so finally, I do say goodbye to the good people of Mount Zion. A philosopher, and I told this to the groups that we met on Wednesday and Thursday, a philosopher once said that we are a composite of all those people that we have met. And if that be true, then I am the most blessed person ever. For all the good people that I have met throughout my ministry and for the 35 years of ministry, I can only say that when I'm retiring as a really blessed person. So I thank you. I thank you for your love, your support, and may God bless you in all of your ministries, and may you grow and continue to grow. Even through this difficult time, you will find ways to grow. Because as I said in my sermon, God promises to be with us forever. In all ways, in the bumps and in the smooth places, we can count on God's presence. Thank you very much for for putting this together. And as you said, some people retire and they don't get to have something saved like this so they can look back and listen to it again. Well, I can, and I probably will. So blessings to all of you. Peace be with you, and God bless you in all your future endeavors. Thank you.
Amen.
Jan?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello, Jan. I guess if there are folks who would like to speak, if you can figure out how not to make it a melee, we can do that at this point.
Won't they just put a hand up?
Just real briefly, when Gary first came, it was pretty obvious he was a fairly laid-back, easygoing person. And I don't think he was, at that time, our technology wasn't quite that advanced, but I don't think Gary was quite ready for the technology. And he was having some real problems with getting on the mic and doing things and following what was going on. I said, oh, I hope this guy's okay. But he was, of course, more than okay. He was great. But it took him a few weeks to kind of adjust to a new reality.
Thank you.
Gary, I'm sorry. I was late to this because somehow my wife decided to break a pipe in our garage, and so we had water going all over the place. And she's out there fixing it. So I'm glad you had this time today to get together. Because
don't blame this on your wife, because this is recorded. I'll send it to her.
Anyway, I just wanted to thank you. I remember the first time we met was at the Double T Diner in Catonsville. And I figured, we'll sit there for an hour. And we ended up sitting there for almost 4 hours talking about things and realizing we were both struggling Redskin fans and reminiscing about the good old days. But I just have to say, you've been a complete professional and a blessing to my music ministry. You've inspired me. You've allowed me to take chances and to do things. And you've just been such a great cheerleader. And my greatest disappointment is that I didn't have you play the guitar enough. I would really have loved to have shared you, but you came out, you said right away, you said, hey, I'm either preaching or I'm playing the guitar. I can't really do both on a Sunday. And let everybody know that that was our whole agreement there. But I wish you nothing but the best. And instead of saying goodbye, I'll say see you later, because we'll stay in touch. We'll be friends for a long time, my friend.
Thank you, Mark.
Take care.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. Wow. I love Debbie Klopp's sign, which says off the clock. All right, the time has come. You have put in the time with us, and we have grown in our faith journeys. We have walked along with you, and you have helped us get there. And I just am so overwhelmed. Your appointment was one of the better ones that the bishop has made. I'm just going to say that.
Thank you, Betty.
Very well.
Pastor Gary, I just want to say real quick, I wholeheartedly agree with Betty that your time with us has been some of the better pastors that we've had. And I've been at this church for 26 years. I know I don't look that old, but I really would like for you to come and volunteer with the food pantry any chance you get. You know, we're going to be open the third Saturday of every month. And you have always been such an inspiration to everybody. And I just want to thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Carol.
Gary, we know that you feel this is the time and the season for your retirement, but I just want to say for the record, nobody asked us. You know, there probably should have been a lengthy process with committees and roundtable discussions and voting. That didn't happen, so we just bow to your decision that this is the right decision for you, but we would have loved more time with you, and we'll miss you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your kind words.
And Gary, I just want to say, because no one's mentioned this, I still have very fond memories of the men's retreat that you and I went on several years ago. And it wasn't just you with your guitar at that point. We had 3 or 4 folks sitting around playing and singing, but it was a great opportunity to get to know you a little better and to get to see a side of you that we don't always see on Sundays or during those Tuesday evening meetings. Wish you the absolute best in retirement.
Yeah. Okay.
Gary, Chuck and I just want to say that we're going to really miss you and Laurie, and that we've had a wonderful experience having you there, and you've been there when we needed you. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
No, it was Rob. It was Rob who was speaking. I'm sorry. I was looking at Brian because he was my fellow guitar player. We plucking beside each other.
Well, maybe I should take this opportunity to echo what Mark said and also what Rob said there. I feel like I had an unfair advantage in connecting with you almost from the beginning, because you came right up and you started checking out my equipment.
Yes, I did.
and people don't really do that.
I see Chuck there, and boy, he's got a beard. My goodness.
Look at that.
And,
Look at that.
He was one of the other guitar players, by the way.
Yes.
I only wish that we could have played together a little bit more. But I really enjoyed your playing.
Yes, I do have a COVID beard and long hair, but I was second what Brian was saying. I really enjoyed those retreats where we all got to play the guitar together. That was fun. We'll miss you. We're enjoying retirement, as you can tell down here, so you enjoy your retirement too.
Now you can get your hair cut. Laurie can cut it. It's
Well, maybe
Yourself.
next week.
Okay.
He's holding out because Nathan may come down to see us, so we're debating. But yeah.
He looks a lot like Nathan. Looks a lot like Nathan with that hair.
Or Brandon. Yeah.
Or like Chuck Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Santa Claus.
Yep. He's losing the belly though, so he's not going to be a Santa Claus anymore.
We'll make sure.
Well, okay. All righty. We enjoy being together as a church because we can all just sit here and look at each other and be filled and just be filled. And that's a wonderful thing. It's good to be together. It's really good.
Is that a cat behind you, Betty?
Yes, my cat has been enjoying your sermons for the last few weeks. Let me
Well,
just.
that's good.
Yes, yes. In case you ever wondered,
Is he
you could always
following all the instructions that I'm giving in my sermons? And
Not all
don't
of the
don't bip on me because I know cats.
Not all of the instructions. Not all of the instructions.
Okay.
But he does come and listen. He does listen well.
Okay.
Okay. Well, nobody wants to go. I'm going to leave. Gary, wish you the
Take care,
best.
Betty. Peace be with you. Godspeed.
You.
Godspeed.
Gary, congratulations.
Peace.
Best
Peace to
wishes,
everyone.
Gary. Best wishes.
Peace to everyone, and thank you so much for this. I am so pleased. You know, this has been wonderful. I'm going to brag about the fact that I have had a Zoom farewell now. You know what I mean? Because this is so wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hey, really much, Pastor Gary.
Thank you, Pastor Gary.
Take care.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Best wishes.
Good.
Bye.
Clobies.
Hug. Come to Clobies, Gary. Come to Clobies.
Take care, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Goodbye.
Gary. Bye.